If you didn't come from my Instagram reel, I was talking about how much Shelby Sapp probably makes based off of how many views she gets on Instagram. This definitely sparked a lot of interest from probably you. That's why you're on this video. But if you're coming from this video from somewhere else, this is the hidden information behind some of the most prominent and most known social media knowledge gurus on the internet. And the crazy thing is, Shelby Sapp obviously is an amazing example of this, but there are tons of people that have a fraction of the amount of influence or following or amount of views that Shelby Sapp has, and they're still making millions of dollars per year. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how much Shelby Sapp is making, how she's doing it, why I'm qualified to even say things like this, and show you the exact system that people like me, her, and all the other people you'll probably already follow online are using to actually make this amount of money. And it's not rocket science. You will leave this video with already an idea of how this works and action steps of how you can start this yourself. Now, the reason why I'm going to be going over this information, why I'm publicly saying this, why doesn't Shelby Sapp, why do all these other people, Andrew Tate, Wes Watson, Vincent Fisher, all of these people I discuss, why don't these people actually share this information, how much money they're making and how they're doing it, but I am. The reason is because I actually have an incentive to make people know about this system, and I have an incentive to actually make people successful with this. Because if I can make more people successful with this model, I have an agency and I have a business model that allows people to find success with this. And then once they're successful, you're gonna need other things like softwares, payment processing, services to actually help you maintain and scale this system to the next level, which allows me to make money when you make money, okay? Well, without further ado, let's get into it. So how does Shelby Sapp make so much money, and how does she actually, how does this actually work? Let's break it down. So back in 2023, this is when I started my personal brand. Very similar to what Shelby Sapp is doing with her sales experience, her door-to-door sales experience. I started to see people post about what they're doing on a daily basis that have an interesting skill set, and they're blowing up. And a lot of these people I didn't think were really that knowledgeable in those things that they're talking about, but also I didn't actually see that a lot of these people were legit, which made me even more motivated to talk about how legit my stuff was and just show real behind the scenes of my daily life of running my businesses online. So I started posting on social media back in 2023, like I said, and within the first month, I actually grew a ton on TikTok. I actually got around 100,000 followers within the first just over 30 days. And I started getting an influx of people reaching out to me on Instagram. They're DMing me of how they can actually start a business, just like I was showing on my social media. I was young. I showed how I was just a regular person. I was a college partier, and I was now making a great amount of money online, and I was able to travel, all that kind of stuff. So after a while, these people started to reach out to me, and I decided to launch my business around this. So I allowed people to learn what I was doing for a high ticket fee, okay? That right away got me to an insane amount of income per month. And it's very similar to what we're gonna be breaking down in this, which I will break down of what this thing is we are actually selling, how much it actually costs, and why we have to do it this way. Otherwise, you will not accomplish this amount of money for this amount of effort put in, which now I'm able to spend less than 30 minutes a day, most of the time running this business that generates millions of dollars per year. And if you just do 10% of that, you can still make hundreds of thousands per year, which should be the case when you're posting on social media. You should be making more than a doctor. Otherwise, I wouldn't find it that motivating myself, okay? Anyways, at $100,000 to $150,000 per month at the beginning, when I had around 100,000 followers, I was getting a crazy amount of views per month. I was getting around 50 million views per month. You can probably see right here, some videos reach over 10 million views. So I was getting an insane amount of reach, an insane amount of people were reaching out to me because of that, okay? Now, I come from an e-commerce background. So with e-commerce, in order to make things profitable, because you're running ads and you're running ads to products to sell online, you have to be very careful with all of the drop-offs of people reaching out to you, people coming to your website, people actually adding to cart, people actually purchasing, etc. So we got really good at being very analytical with the data and taking a scientific approach that is not emotional, okay? So I took a look at this and I was wondering, okay, I was getting tens of millions of views per month, but I was still only making 100 to 150K per month, which is still a crazy amount of money, but it got me worried because what if I stop going viral? I'll probably not make that much money. So I switched it up. I started to optimize the system on the back end, just like I would with my e-commerce businesses. And right away, I jumped up to around $230,000 per month. And at this point, my views were going down and down and down, okay? this trend started to continue, and I got even less views, as you can see here, less and less and less views, but I was making more and more money. Okay, the next month I got to almost $500,000 in income from that. The next month, around 700,000, and then starting to pass 700,000, going to up to 800,000, and then eventually up to $900,000 in profit per month made from my social media. And as you can see here, I was getting around 50 million views when I started, and when I was making the most money per month, I was only getting around 2 to 3 million views per month. Back then, it equaled to just around a quarter a penny per view. And at this point, I was making around 20 cents per view, okay? Now, that probably sparks your interest even more. How is this even possible? A lot of people think this is like bullshit. How are you earning 20 cents per view, where a lot of other monetization methods, people are earning like 20 cents per 1,000 views or even worse than that. Most people that post on social media, especially the ones that get so many views, they earn literally nothing for posting online. Maybe they might make like $10,000, $20,000 a month from like brand deals, maybe the TikTok creator fund, stuff like that, but they're getting totally ripped off. I don't think it's really that worth it to be that famous and not make that much money from it, right? You should be making millions of dollars. You're getting more views than a lot of TV stars do, okay? So at this point, I realized, holy crap, I am starting to crack the code. I'm getting less and less views, but I'm getting more money every single month, okay? So I turned around after this and I started applying this to other people. Now, once I started applying this to other people, I quickly realized that these people don't have the virality that I have. I have full control of my own social media, but I don't have full control over what these guys film, how many views these people get, right? If they get sick, if they don't get sick. So it's very volatile. So I had to get way more creative, and I had to start to think about how can I convert more of these people, right? You shouldn't need hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people to see you to sell just a few high-ticket packages to these people, okay? And I'm gonna explain more in depth of how that actually is packaged together and what price points, but we sell at a minimum of $3,000 per purchase, okay? So at $3,000 per purchase, you only need 30 people in a month to make $100,000 per month, right? So I went into this with that concept in mind, with that mindset, and we were able to get some really good results. So I started working with these guys, and they talk about real estate. Two young brothers, and they are pretty successful with real estate. They were able to generate millions of dollars over a couple of years, and they started talking about it online. They did not know how to set up this system in the beginning. They were getting around 1,000 to 3,000 views per video. They had around 3,000 followers, as you can see right here. And they're making $0 from their social media, but they knew that, you know, having a social media, having a personal brand can lead to making more money in the future, but nobody knows how much money you can actually make from this. So at around 200 to 500,000 views per month, the first month that we launched the system, they earned around $300,000, and the next month they earned around $600,000. So it really showed how powerful this is. Like, I was earning around 20 cents per view. These guys were earning a few dollars per view, okay? But if you really think about it, if you've actually seen 1,000 people in a room, as long as they're all there for the exact same reason, at least one of those people will buy, right? And everybody's guaranteed thousands of views on Instagram Reels nowadays of the people that are interested in exactly what they're talking about, okay? So if you understand that concept, it actually makes a lot more sense, okay? So how much does Shelby Sapp make since we were able to make that, okay? Well, the math is very simple. If you go to her profile, I just took the average of some of her recent Instagram Reels, and her average views per reel is around 200,000 views. On average, she posts twice per day, so that equals around 13 million views per month. At the bare minimum, which there hasn't been a single creator that we've worked with after I've done it for myself that has made less than 20 cents per view, on that average, at the bare minimum, she should be making around $2.6 million per month. And I mean, if you look at her lifestyle, the Rolls Royce, the fancy house, all of that stuff, she probably is making a very similar amount to this. And if she's not making this much, she probably will in the future as she starts to learn about this system, okay? And on average as well, just to show you how this is actually very conservative. On average, female creators, because they build such a better cult following, people are so much more invested in their personal brand. On average, they usually convert 2 to 2.5 more times than a male talking about the exact same thing. So it is possible for her to hit, $5-6 million per month if she really dials in her processes in the back end and somebody shows her the way. So what is this system? I know I'm leading you guys on a crazy amount, but I just want you to know why I'm qualified, why I'm actually telling you this, and why the math adds up. But what is the actual system that is responsible for this? And how can you actually do it yourself? So, first of all, I need you to know this one thing. This is what runs the system. Instagram Reels is the best platform. It gets you viral, it gets you views guaranteed. It gets you guaranteed views, even if you have a brand new account. As you can see right here, this guy's brand new, 16 followers. He's still getting hundreds of views per video, sometimes even thousands of views per video right out the gates, okay? And once you get going, you start to post frequently for a couple weeks, you'll get to thousands of views per video. That is a crazy amount of people. I don't know if you've seen what 1,000 people in a room looks like. It's crazy. It's hard to bring yourself to talk in front of that many people in person, right? But on social media, it makes it a lot easier. And the best part is whatever topic you're talking about, it'll put you in front of those exact people. And the more specific that you are on that topic, let's say you include your personal life story, people obviously see that you're either a guy or a girl, the way you dressed, the stuff that you do on the weekends. That stuff all starts to bring in those exact people that have the exact mutual interests as you as well. So they resonate with you exactly, right? That's what creates a fan basis and a following. It doesn't have to be big. Thousands of people or hundreds of people is already a lot. This right here is the system. Once you know how to create videos that are authentic, which is very easy, you just gotta pick up the phone and treat it like a FaceTime, and you talk about the exact thing that you're already doing on a daily basis, you will attract those people. Now, how do we actually make money from this? You guys probably saw other creators, even myself, say in my videos, comment for the tutorial and I will DM it to you. So there's a software called ManyChat, and when you do that, and when you get people to comment, ManyChat can automatically send them that material so that you can send it to thousands of people without having to lift a finger. It's a great software that allows us to reach a lot more people just to get that information to them. Why do we do this? We do this to start the conversation with these people. Once we start the conversation with these people, which is in a not scammy or salesy way, we're able to start a conversation off on the right foot where these people show interest in the specific thing that we're talking about. We're giving them more information to educate them more on this subject, to help them get their foot in the door, help them actually take action towards achieving what you've been able to achieve. And then eventually these people realize that if you are the expert in what you're talking about, which you probably will be, or if you're doing this system on somebody else that is an expert in what they're talking about, eventually they're gonna wanna book a meeting with you and they're gonna want mentorship or knowledge from you. And we package our digital information products in a way to have way more value than $3,000 so that we can sell at a minimum of $3,000. And the reason why we sell at $3,000 is because at $3,000, this gives you enough earnings per purchase to be able to have sales reps do the work for you, okay? If sales reps are doing the work for you, you can pay them around 10% commission on a sale, which allows them to make 6 figures a year, which if they're making one purchase per day, you're making over $1 million per year, which is insane, right? That's only 30 purchases a month, 30 people out of thousands of people that are seeing you, okay? That is the power of the system. That's how we're able to make so much money. Now you're probably going to realize that you already follow a lot of people that are doing this, and it probably starts to all make sense of why these people are driving the cars that they do. So again, why 3,000? Most people go wrong on social media when they're offering a $20 product, or even worse, offering a $20 product on an Amazon affiliate link or TikTok shop where they're only keeping a small percentage of the sale and that company that has the product keeps majority of it, right? You get ripped off right off the bat. It's too easy nowadays to create a product that's worth something or even upwards of thousands of dollars with the AI and softwares and tools that we have on the internet. We're able to make a $3,000 product out of basically thin air because knowledge is the most valuable thing on earth. It doesn't have any cost of goods, so it doesn't cost you for inventory and it can get shipped to your customer instantly, right? If you wanted to sell a $3,000 product that's physical, you'd have to literally have a motorcycle business or something like that, or you want to sell computers or something. That is way harder. You have to have manufacturers, you have to invent your own designs, you have to make people trust your product, they want it, right? You need millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, just to get that type of business started. And then once people buy, you need to store them somewhere, you got to ship them. That eats up your margin, and eventually you start to only make like probably less than 20% profit, where with an information product, you make all of it, okay? Now, you can also offer a service. This is where a lot of other people go wrong as well. Offering a service is great because you help people, you provide a lot of value, you help businesses, for example, you help people get fit. But at this point, you can only scale to a certain amount. You can only get to maybe like 10 clients before you start to burn out. And when you're managing your clients, helping your clients on a daily basis, you have no time to get attention on social media. You should be spending all of your time getting attention. Attention is what makes business. providing a service only drags you down, okay? A $3,000 mentorship community is the best way to make people successful in a group setting that's scalable, and it's more than worth $3,000. There's a lot of people selling $10,000 programs, $20,000 programs, but it really just needs to equal up to get these people to the ROI that they're looking to get, okay? I didn't add any imagery for this, but the biggest course sellers or mentorship sellers in the world or information sellers in the world are colleges, companies like McDonald's, 7-Eleven. These companies have packaged information in a way where they can charge hundreds of thousands of dollars per unit, okay? And then once these people are successful and they learn the thing that they charged for, then with McDonald's, for example, they now grab royalties of their success. So if they make money with their business model that they taught them about, they're now making a percentage of their revenue, or they own the real estate, right? Colleges, oftentimes they make money for placing people in jobs. They have partnerships with big companies like Deloitte or Goldman Sachs, right? If they create a very good student that's successful and gets that degree, they can now place them somewhere else as well. So they're incentivized to make them successful. We're not selling courses here just to grab money. We're selling courses here to obviously earn off the front, provide that value to make these people successful. And once they're successful, we are incentivized to make money with them once they're successful, right? So I mentioned up here real quick, I mentioned that our recent client, they had around 200 to 500,000 views per month, and we still got them to about $1.5 billion earned in 3 months, which is crazy. There's people that you probably know in your friend group or in college that have the same amount of followers that they had to start. Now, they made 300 to 300,000 their first month through 600,000 their second month. Even if you did 10% of what they did, that would mean that you had around 300 followers, which I guarantee if you're watching this, you probably do, or if you don't, you know somebody that has that amount of followers. 600 to 1,200 views per day, which at the guaranteed amount of 100 to 250 views per video that you post on Instagram, that's guaranteed by Instagram. If you post 3 times a day, you'll be hitting 600 to even a couple thousand views per day. 18,000 to 40,000 views per month. Out of that many people being interested in what you have to say, there's no way you can't have 3 people pay you $3,000 per month, $10,000 a month. 82% of Americans never touch $10,000 a month in their entire lifetime. And you're able to just say a few words about what you're already doing on a daily basis. If you wash cars for a living, talk about how you do that. Talk about the clients that you've had that day, how much money you've made. And after that, people will come to you. There's no difference between you talking to a coworker or telling your family member after work about what you did than updating your followers, thousands of people, of what you did. The difference is out of thousands of people, at least 3 people per month will definitely buy from you. If you just tell your mom or dad, nobody's gonna buy from you, okay? And if you really want to kick it up a notch, $100,000 a month is a crazy amount of money. You're getting to over $1 million per year in income. It's only 30 people per month. 30 people out of 30,000 people a month. Pretty crazy, right? I'm sure at this point you start to realize you might be able to actually achieve this yourself. So how can you actually get started yourself? I mean, I did tell you, I want you to be successful with this, and I'm incentivized for you to actually be successful with this, because then we can make money together with the things that I provide you once you're successful. This right here is a prompt. If you plug this into ChatGPT, and I suggest using the pro version if you don't have it, it's like 20 bucks a month. It's a little bit smarter than the original. Plug this in. I'll link this into the description below this video so that you can actually copy and paste this into ChatGPT. What this is going to do is it's going to make ChatGPT interview you. It's going to interview you in depth so that it can learn about you, and then take your career experience, your life experiences, your skill sets, your college degree, everything that you know, and package it into something that you can sell in information, a digital offer for over $3,000, okay? This right here will probably change your life, and this will probably make you realize that, wow, you do have something that can make you a millionaire, okay? And if you really don't think you can do it yourself, or if you really don't want to post on social media, you can easily just go to somebody else that you know has a skill set or is willing to post on social media, or maybe they already have a lot of followers on social media. Give this to them, and then you already have the first part that's most important in the system, a product that you've created out of thin air that's worth $3,000 or more, okay? Now, I hope I didn't miss anything on here. I hope this was very valuable for you. But I'm gonna give you some action steps after this. So after you've copied that prompt, below this video, I want you to comment who I should dissect next. There's a ton of people on here that I know make money from this, and it's usually very similar. I'm very active in the community of these people making this. I've worked with a lot of them, and the people that I don't, I network with them all the time, so I know an idea of how much they make, and it's usually very similar to what I say. Let me know who I should dissect next. I'm going to do a lot of these because this is very educational. This is going to change a lot of people's lives. This is information that you just can't find anywhere else. Okay, and then if you really think you have what it takes to be successful with this, which doesn't really take a lot, 30 minutes a day, and you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year or even hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. There's also a link in the description where you can book a call and get a consultation with my team, and we will, based off of your scenario, show you how much you should be making, how much money you're actually leaving on the table, how many views you're getting, your niche or your skill set that you have right now that you want to base this around, and we can show you how much money you should be making and action steps of how to get there. Okay, so you can book that call. It doesn't cost. Just book a call. We just want to make sure that we can get more people successful with this system. Alrighty, well, I hope that was valuable. If you found that valuable, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Can't believe I'm actually saying that. I've never said that before. DM me on Instagram if you have any questions, and I am posting every single day about this. A new video on YouTube and a few videos on Instagram Reels. Thanks for watching.